All right, so welcome back, everyone. We are so happy you are here. And this is our grand finale of this year's show. And of course, it's with my best friend because this woman has been by my side for the past 6 years. And she's also an intuitive teacher. So not only has she taken the course, she lives it, she breathes it, and she's manifested her life from it. So I'm just so happy to be able to introduce her and really just hear from her, like what has inspired her to trust her intuition and get this far. So welcome, Alyssa Williamson.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here because my journey is one of knowing I was intuitive and being too busy to listen to it, too masculine to listen to it, and the lessons of learning to trust my intuition and actually utilize it in my business to get
Yeah,
to where I want it to be.
I love that. So, how did you discern what your intuition was to even know that you were following
Oh, that's a really good question.
it?
I think it's an awareness. Like I always grew up, my mom was like, "Oh yeah, my gut like
Yeah.
feels like this is a good thing." Like, and it wasn't a whole lot, but as an adult, I've noticed it a lot more that she says that a lot. She's like, "Oh, this feels really good to me in my gut. Like
Mhm.
this is something we should do, or it doesn't feel good right now." And so I guess I grew up hearing that. I don't remember it as a kid. I remember it as an adult, but I must have if she talks like that now.
Yeah.
And so I knew about intuition, but it just never occurred to me that it had a place in business.
Hmm. Fascinating.
And
Fascinating.
it wasn't until I started working with like successful women in business that were telling me, "Hey, what does your intuition say in this moment?" And
Mhm.
like I'd go to them advice and they're like, "What does your intuition say? What do you think you should be doing? Like listen to your intuition." Like,
Yeah.
oh, like all these successful women are saying, "Hey, listen to your intuition in business."
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, like I was trying to do it the masculine way and like that's not the right way. We just think it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I think of masculine, I think like forcing something, whereas intuition is like a listening, an alignment, and then an action place, that you take. And also, I just want to mention, like, as you know, I know your mom, and she's so grounded, and there's a sense of trust. And I feel like that goes hand in hand with intuition, as you feel grounded, and there's this deep sense of trust and safety of like, oh, I know that I know. And so, as you become a mother, as you get married, all these things, it's like there's a stability that happens when you follow your intuition, when you're growing your business. I know, we've worked together on your business for a long time and I've watched you grow it huge and have amazing successful investments and all these great things because you trusted me and your intuition. They went hand in hand, but it's just fun because it's like, how high can you go from that place of stability and trust? That is like the sky's the limit?
Yeah, and there's a place for masculine and feminine, of course. So the masculine is the doing, the feminine is the being. And I was just so caught up in like, do, do, do. I don't have time to stop. I don't have time to take lunch. I don't have time to go for a walk. I just need to get all this work done. I would power through lunches. I would power through bathroom breaks. I, I would be like, oh, I'll go to the bathroom after I finish this project. And an hour later, I'm like, I really need to go to the bathroom, but I can't, I gotta keep doing this. And so
Yeah.
like the feminine is the being and just being able to sit and go take a walk or let the ideas percolate so that then you can take inspired action because you've heard from your intuition.
Yeah.
So you get the insight and then you're like, now I can move. Now I can take the masculine side of things and make that.
Yeah. Totally. I still remember the day. It was like years ago. I'm like, Alyssa, just go lay down and just take a break and just be. And you call me like 2 or 3 hours. I was like, oh my God, I just needed to be, just relax.
Way too high strung, way too caught up in my body and my emotions and like in the spiral of having to do.
Yeah, and so I think this is just a message for everybody, right? Like the being is enough. Like your being is the energetic force that's actually bringing everything into your life. So as you align with your intuition, you feel that, you really embody it, then you'll know when the next action step is. But just to be you is enough, right? And getting that clarity and that guidance, like you said, it's like, okay, now I know. Now I know the next step.
And one of my favorite things to say is because I was the type A stressed out workaholic, like I was doing 80-hour weeks in my 20s. I was like, hey, what else am I going to do? Let's make money. But then it became a habit.
Yeah.
And so the thing I love to tell people, other entrepreneurs who are like hustling or feeling like they're always behind and have to keep doing more and more is The thing you feel too busy to do is the thing you need to do. If you're too busy to stop and have lunch, you're too busy to just sit down on your porch for 5, 10 minutes, you're too busy to take a walk, you need to do that thing. You need to do the self-care you're too busy to do.
I still remind her to do this, by the way. I'm like, Alyssa, go for a walk.
Yeah. Well, in winter, in summer, I don't need a reminder. In winter, I'm like, but it's cold.
Excuses, excuses. So I know you've worked with a lot of clients and helping them coach like through intuition and business and all of that stuff. What has been some of the challenges you've seen with your clients and how have you helped them overcome that by accessing their intuition?
Um, I love this example for how much it changed her life. And really, when you go from ignoring your intuition to listen your intuition, it changes everything. You're like, intuition, what? Like that's yeah, so what? Like that's that woo-woo thing, but it really changes your life. And so of course it's changed every client's life, but I love this story because she went from being very negative, very almost proud of the negativity, like, oh my gosh, things are going wrong. I'm going to focus on that because my, like, it just created something, I don't know, like it was something to dwell on. And the shift happened we even did a 1 month coaching intuitive activation coaching program together. And within that first month, she saw shifts because she came back about 3 or 4 months later and did my full program. But even just that 1 month of activating her intuition started to shift the way things showed up in her life. She became more positive. She focused on the positive. She was focusing on her goals. She went from a failed business deal and then while working with me on my full program, the business opportunity came back. She thought it imploded on her. It was done. She was never going to have that opportunity again. It came back to her and ended up becoming a win-win situation with this other person. And it was just that shift in mindset and trusting her intuition. And she then went on she had a little toddler or infant at the time. She was able to retire her husband because of this business deal that she made. Changed where she was taking her business trajectory. Oh,
I got it.
And was able to retire her husband and been a 5-year goal.
Wow. That's amazing. You know, the thing I want to highlight about that, why I know it works, one of the reason is your intuition aligns you with the truth. So when she started listening to her intuition, she's like, oh, the truth is I want to do X, Y, and Z, right? And then she started making choices in alignment with her intuition. And then she started seeing the results. So that's just the way it works. And I know intuition is the most practical thing you can follow. Like I know people call it woo. It's so ridiculous to call it woo. It is so practical. Like it's literally what makes success, you know, and whether you're aware that you're following it or not, if you really take a moment to ask yourself, when are the times that I followed my intuition and what was the result versus when did I not and what was the result? I can guarantee you way better off when you followed your intuition. Guarantee it.
Yeah. And so intuition is like a core foundational principle of being a business owner, being a human and living the life you want. But I especially focus on business owners.
Yeah.
And it ties into my other specialty is mindset. And so as you're saying, like once you know what you want, you start to focus on it. Then I work with clients on their mindset to notice it and bring it in. So it's like intuition and mindset are now feeding each other in a way to support you to get what you want.
Yep.
And then you start to live your dreams. You start to notice the good things happening, and then they come faster and faster because it shifted your whole energy.
Yep. Yeah, so just so everybody knows, so the Intuitive Success Club that Alyssa took, she's a teacher now. And so these are the first two steps. So the first one's the intuitive activation. Then there's the NLP. It's called Neuro Linguistic Programming. It's mindset. It's how to change your nervous system to come in alignment with your intuition. And then the third part is business. So you can learn how to monetize your gifts. And maybe you're like, oh, I don't know how, or I don't even know if I want to. Like there's so many times people have been like, I don't think I want to do a business. And then they're like, oh my God, I could do this. Now I'm making money. Now I wrote a book. So like, even if you think you don't want to make money, why not just open to the possibility? And like, if it starts as a side thing and then it becomes your main thing, why not let it be, right? So there are the steps, right? The foundation is intuition. Then you get your mind on board and just imagine how easy your life is when you're thinking positively, you're in alignment with truth, and you're taking action towards your goals. There's kind of no way you can't live it, right? Because
It's,
it's
yeah,
like,
I like to say it makes success inevitable because when you're following the practices and principles.
right.
And yes, there, a big part of it is really our topic today is focusing on trusting your intuition. And that's a big proponent is the trust and faith factor.
Yeah.
And sometimes your brain comes in and you start overthinking and you're like, well, why? How can that be possible? Like, and then that's where you have to work on building that faith and trust. So we're human. We have people around us influencing us, saying things.
Right.
And so you have to build that trust
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
and know how to rebuild your trust when you're like, oh, nothing's going my way.
Hmm.
And so that's an active piece of it as well, is knowing how to keep the faith and know that it's happening to you, not just like, oh, it'll be nice when this happens to me one day, but like, this is coming for me.
Right. Have that knowing and that certainty. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it brings me back to the full circle question. Like, how do you know it's your intuition? How do you discern that that is your intuition speaking to you? You know, and another way to say it would be like, how can you advise our audience to tune in to their intuition?
Well, and that's it's great because there's so many ways to hear your intuition and mine. I it's funny. I just didn't have an awareness of it before doing the intuitive activation program. So I'm not really sure what it was. Now I get a tingle at my spine when I hear something or think something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's true.
Yeah.
Like that I know is true. Otherwise, for me, it's like a knowing, like
Mm.
just it feels good. It feels
Yeah.
light. It's like, oh, I'm excited to do it.
Yeah.
That's how I started. I started my business on my intuition. I didn't know it at the time, but I was like, here's my business. This feels good. This is what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
and it was like, that's why I became a workaholic because I enjoyed it. I had so much fun. And then I was like, this isn't sustainable. But I was following my intuition. I just didn't have the tools in place to be the best business owner I could be. And that's why I love bringing business into intuition as well. So you get to do your passion, live your joy, and have a life as well. Like not just have your business take over.
Yeah, totally. And we build the structures, right? Like the structure is amazing, right? For your business, for
Mhm.
your life. And I know you help people bring all of that together, right? Like create a business and life they love so they can enjoy their life, right? And so
Yeah.
it's like it's really fun to see what that is for each person, right? And really what lights you up. Like we're all different, you know? For me, it's going for a run, you know, whatever it is, like do that thing that brings you joy, that brings you that happiness, because it's going to grow your positivity, right? And attract that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And having a couple of just handful of things like
Yeah.
for on those days when you're like, I just don't feel like doing it. I'm not feeling inspired, excited. Like, okay, what are the top 5 things that help me feel more connected to my intuition?
Yeah, totally.
What
Yeah.
do I want to do of those things?
Yeah, yeah, and go do them. Very cool. Well, let's see. Is there any stories you want to share just about your own life or clients or friends or anybody around just intuition, just success stories of just following it and yeah, what you saw happen?
I,
So
I've
many.
mentioned a couple, so I want to bring up something new. Like, so one of the first times was while I was in the intuitive activation program. So my cousin was going to get married in Europe, and I was like, oh, that would be really nice to go to. I haven't traveled in 5 years. Like, I really love traveling. Why have I not traveled? And I just put like, I asked what family, what dates they were going, and I put some dates in Google Flight Tracker. And I was like, if this goes down, like if the prices are good, I'll buy it. And I don't remember. It was like a month later or a week later or something, but the prices went like 50% off. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's my sign. I need to travel. I
Yeah,
need to go to this. I need to book this. I'll find a way, make a way to get over to Europe
yeah,
and get to this wedding, but just get to be in, be with family. And it was the best trip. I actually booked 2 weeks. And while I was there, I extended it out a third week. And
wow,
it was just like I love my family. I love, like we're really, even though my family, most of my family's in New Zealand or Australia, like we're still really close knit. And so it was just like this family reunion through Europe, getting to do all these fun, exciting things.
thanks.
But it was my first time traveling in 5 years. And I was like, this is what it means to listen to my intuition. Like my business My business can support me. My business can support me taking 3 weeks off.
Yep.
And I get to travel and have these amazing experiences. And it just like, it made me feel alive again.
Yeah, I mean, it's the freedom. It's funny. I was talking to a client this morning and she was talking about PTO, and I'm like, what's PTO? And she's like, paid time off. I was like, oh, I'm so used to doing my own thing that like we'll travel to Bali or Thailand or wherever. And I'm like teaching
Yeah.
her to read, helping kids. I'm like, oh, it's just my life. Like even holidays, people are like, do you want to see me? And I'm like, sure, I don't because it's just like all one and the same to me, right? Because I'm like, my life is my business is my life. So it's just, it's a different way of being. But like for any of you that have that sense of just needing to be free, controlling your own schedule, choosing who you're working with, choosing what you do, right? Like having your own business just might be for you, because
Yeah.
it really is exhilarating. I've started since I was 19. It's like I can't imagine doing anything else. And it starts like for me, it wrote itself through me. And for everybody, I feel like it does because it's your expression, right? So when you start aligning your energy in the intuitive activation program, you're like, oh, this is my purpose. This is my heart. This is my expression. Like it's just so natural, right? Where you don't have to try. And then the mindset stuff will help you clear any subconscious blocks, right? Any fears, anything that's like, oh, I can't, which is just programming, right? It's really easy to like erase and reprogram.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
just to give you guys a taste.
so, so like I'm a marketer, so I'm like, it really does help everyone in whatever way you want to live your best life. And I know that's terrible in marketing, but it really does. But for me, like it can help a new business, starting a new business, like it can help a new business owner thrive. I was an established business owner. I had my business like 10 years at that point
Yeah.
when I did the intuitive activation and finally started listening to my intuition. And even that shifted my whole way of being. Like I traveled for the first time in 5 years. I went from
Yeah.
working 80-hour weeks. Okay, I had 30K months in my business, but I was working all the time. I was like, where's my freedom? Like, where's all this money? Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just working.
Right.
To after the fact, I had 15K months with so much ease. I got to take breaks. I finished by 3 p.m. in the afternoon. I was
Yeah.
taking walks during the day. I was like, oh, it's an amazing day outside. I'm gonna go take a break outside. Like, I just felt like I had so much more freedom.
Mhm.
And it really was more profitability too. Like that sounds like, oh, I was making half as much, but I was way more profitable too. So it was shifting my priorities to what do I really want in life? And by focusing on my passion and purpose, okay, I want to travel. I want to have freedom. I want to go do the things I want when I feel inspired to do them. Like I was able to live that once I finally listened to my intuition rather than ignoring it, being like, oh, I should go for a walk. Nah, I gotta go do this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I often describe like your intuition as like your inner compass, right? Like you set your goals, like you said, and you're like, okay, now guide me. Like, what's the next step? What's the direction to have that, right? But you want to know where you're going first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just go wandering off and hope you'll find a place. It's like going into the woods and you're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to get there because I don't know where I'm going.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So let's see. I mean, is there any other advice just in general that you want to share? Anything that comes to you about following your intuition to greater income?
I'm assuming that most people listening to this either their intuition called them to this because they're not listening to it, or they have been paying attention to their intuition as well and maybe want to take it to the next level, or they want to apply it in a certain way.
Yeah.
And it was really the eye opening for me. It was the eye opening experience of, oh, like this can be a powerful tool in my business, but not only in my business, in my life. Like, I've bought several investment properties just by listening to my intuition. I found like my husband and I've got the most amazing daughter ever. And um, like we moved, we were, I loved Eugene. I lived up in Eugene. I loved it, but we moved to be near my parents. And now I got like family around to support me raising a baby. So like it just shows up in subtle ways in your life too that you're like, oh my gosh, that worked out so well.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
totally.
it's just knowing it's a tool and relying on it rather than thinking like, oh, like that would be nice if it happened, but like I can't trust it.
Yeah. Yeah, you absolutely 100% can trust it.
Yeah.
It is. It's like your best friend in your back pocket. I mean, it's just there all the time. And I guess the question that's coming to mind is how would you how do you think you could support people to follow their intuition, like have the courage to, even if they're afraid, right? Because it could be like, ooh, I feel like my intuition's saying this, but I'm actually afraid to trust it and take that next step. Like, do you have any advice on how to have courage to do that, even if you're afraid, other than just do it?
Yeah, well, I don't know, I think that's a lot of business in life anyway. And I think, I don't know, maybe it's the maturity process of just making up your mind. Like, I want to have the life that I want to have, and I want to enjoy it, and I want to love it. And this is the step to get there. Like, it's having the belief and faith and trust that it is a piece of the process. And when you have that, so maybe it's hearing other people's examples. Maybe it's watching these videos and hearing examples of how people have followed their intuition. Like, there's so many famous people. There's so much about the law of attraction and abundance and manifesting. Like, if you don't have proof, find people who can find other people's stories
Yeah.
that will help you believe it so that you can be like, this will work when I follow it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and the only thing I'll add to that is start with maybe little decisions, right? Like when I first decided I wanted to become an intuitive for a living, I was like, oh, let me just turn left because my intuition says that and see what happens. Oh my God, I love the street, you know? So it's like little decisions, right? And then you're like,
Mhm.
oh, now I'm going to make a bigger decision. You know, I'm going to open my business at 19. Sweet, it worked. Whee! You know, so you keep building it like a muscle, but as you
Yeah.
make those smaller decisions, you can trust yourself more, right? And then the bigger ones.
Yeah. And it could be like, yeah, make it a game.
Yeah.
Go for walks. I had the best thing where I went for a drive one day and took my car out and I just went off and I came across like an hour and a half later. I found this really cool, awesome little small town that became a photo shoot site location that I did with my Mustang, which I love.
Yeah.
And ended up in like a wildlife reserve that I had no idea was up there and just got to explore it. It was just so peaceful and calming to be to one, like to listen to my intuition and come across it. And two, to like experience this place of nature that I had no idea was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, make it fun.
Yeah. And be open for the pleasant surprises,
Yeah.
miracles around the corner for sure. I was just thinking, like, I remember because where we actually met was in Oregon, and I was running one day and I found a lot of money. I remember just running. I'm like, I feel like I want to go. It's like, it's a sign. I'm moving back to California, right? So it's just like things
Yeah.
that happen, that you're not expecting. So it's really cool.
And just trust that first thought that pops up because often you get a thought and then your mind is like, oh, or like the doubt or the fear comes in and the ego.
Yeah.
Sometimes just be like, oh, this thought felt good. Let me just follow through on it.
Mhm. Yeah.
If it's something simple in your day, like maybe you're working on a client project and suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I'm really excited and inspired to write something for marketing or make a video, or maybe I'm really inspired to like go take a walk right now. Go
Yeah.
do that. Like, it could lead to this great thought that you had that will help your client project.
Yeah.
Especially when I was a designer and in my creative business, like I was doing the exact opposite. I was burning myself out where listening to my intuition and taking walks, I came up with better ideas faster.
Yeah, totally. I know. It's amazing when you move your body. I mean, that's one of the first things I tell people to do is like get physical because your intuition speaks to you through your body, right? Your gut feeling like we talked about. So it's really important to move it for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other questions that I like to ask, because I've seen it in my own life and I really believe in it, is how has you following your intuition to greater income helped you help more people? Because I really feel like when we're following our intuition, like you naturally help people because it's in service to the greater good. It really is. And money is this beautiful exchange of energy. And then, like, I mean, that's like how I was saying, I do retreats in other countries and then that funds a nonprofit, right? So, like, the more money I make in fair, beautiful exchange with clients, then I can actually give back. So, I just think it's really beautiful to realize that when you are trusting your intuition, you're not only helping yourself, you're helping other people. And to me, that's why we're here, right? To serve. So, I would love for you to expand on that list and just kind of share your experience.
It's sort of my journey in my business. So, like, I've worked with hundreds of business owners. My first business was graphic design, marketing, and web design. And I loved it. I enjoyed it, but I was always like, what's really my why? Like, I help someone's business grow and then I make the business owner's life better. And I was like, okay, that's it. That's a good reason. But it just never really like struck my soul. Like I was always like, I love this, but I feel like there's something more. And after doing the intuitive success coaching program, I remember I was getting to the end of it. And I was like, my gosh, Abby, my life has changed. Like I'm traveling, I'm making more money, I'm working less, I'm doing all these things. I get to go for walks. I like this is just awesome. Like I need to teach the old business owner, the old workaholic me, the type A, the stressaholic, like how to become the new me who listens to their intuition and has more fun and has more money. And you're like, well, yeah, that's what this program teaches you. When you finish this, you'll be certified to teach it. And I was like, oh, was not on my radar. So following my intuition led me to you, led me to the program, and then led me to what my true purpose and passion is I love helping the business owner. I love helping them activate their intuition. I love shifting their mindset and their way of being and the way they've been showing up in the world, not just in their business, like shifting the way they think makes tremendous change in their business, but in the way they show up with their families, their community, the way they do things in their life. So I'm making such a deeper impact with my clients now
Mm.
that they can create the lives they dream of, supporting their family, showing up the way they want with their family. Like my clients will be like, "Oh yeah, I was sharing this with my husband or I was sharing this with my team members." Like what I'm teaching them, they find so valuable that they're like, "Oh, I have to tell someone about this." And so it's a deeper impact now. And I don't always know the ways it happens. I had one client, she just joined me for a 3-week program I had at the end of the year. And she had 2 businesses and she was just feeling burnt out and stretched out by both of them. And we had a whole strategy and plan, and I had things that she was implementing and focus. And then a couple months later, I find out she's implemented all the things we were talking about. And she's now getting to focus on the business that she is so passionate about. She's found the perfect person to manage her other business, and she's eventually going to sell that.
Yeah.
And so I found out about this indirectly. I haven't like had a chance to talk to her again and find out what really happened. So the changes I make with my clients, I don't always know what happens
Mm.
3 months, 6 months, a year or 2 or 4 or 5 years later because of what they've learned with me. But
Mhm.
I know I'm making such a tremendous impact.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why the Intuitive Success Club is a year because it's like you become a new person, right? And then you see the
Mhm.
results and it's like, and you teach it. Like the reason I offer the certification, it's like, you guys are all teachers at some level, right? So like you can pass down this knowledge, right? And so like everything you're teaching is like your own individual private coaching, which you can work with Alyssa as part of the club or myself or one of the other team members. I highly recommend Alyssa and I because we've been doing it for a long time, but they're all great, right? We have people in the Netherlands, we have people here in San Diego, and Alyssa's in Mount Shasta now. But yeah, it's a really powerful process to see what your intuition can do for you. And then you'll know, you can reach out for a private intro consult to kind of get a feel. Okay, I want to talk to this person about my business or my life and see how we jive, see how we connect, right? Because
Mhm.
the principles, God, I think I started this, I want to say at least 14 years ago. The club's been around for a while. So the principles work, and then it's the application, right? It's like, okay, how do I bring this to my specific life and business to get the results I came for? And it's like 100% success rate. It's amazing, so just come in with a pure heart and intention and follow your intuition, right? So we'll put the link, theintuitivesuccessclub.com, where you can click and do a free intro thing. And
Mhm.
that will help you and help us help you, right? It's like that movie, Jeremy Maguire, let me help you, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very cute. So yeah, is there anything else you want to add to that?
And just listen to your intuition too. If you're like, hey, this is something that's appealing to me, this is, I mean, I should do like,
Yeah.
that's what a lot of my clients say is they're like, I had one, she's like, oh yeah, I've talked to a lot of business coaches before, but I was just always afraid to take action. She's like, with you, my intuition says like, do it.
Yeah, totally. And that's the other thing, because like I started so young. I'm like, what am I doing? Like I have this knowing that I'm supposed to do it, but people are like twice my age. And like, can I really trust this? But the key was there was two keys. Number one is I love people so much. And the second one is I trust each person's intuition. So I'm like, oh, I trust your intuition, Alyssa. What does it say? You're like, do it. I'm like, okay. Like in every client, right? And friend, most clients
Yeah.
do become friends, but it's just kind of like your intuition. No, so I trust your intuition. So as you learn the activation, your intuition is guiding you, right? So what's not to trust? It's
Mhm.
actually developing a deeper level of trust within yourself is really what it's doing, which is just so cool. Yeah, I love
And
it.
you can't even expect. Maybe it's going to lead you to the things you think you want, and maybe it's going to help you discover new things that you never knew you wanted or didn't believe you could have.
Yeah, totally.
Make
I
it
really
happen.
feel that. Yeah, like your travel, you're like a whole new world.
Yeah, well, like I loved my business, but I always felt like there was something more. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I love my business. I love what I get to do.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, is there any last words you want to leave the audience with, like an affirmation, just something they can come back to?
This is sort of my personal motto is like, what's the best that could happen?
I
You
love it.
just focus your mind on that. It's a mindset thing. And it's also like, okay, connect to your intuition. What's the best thing that could happen if I did this? Like, no matter what, yes, we'd love to work with you, but just anything in your life, when you're making a decision, what's the best that could happen?
I love that. So well said. Well, you can join us at www.theintuitivesuccessclub.com and just click on the button intro session, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining, everyone. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.